You are pathetic, Yuki. You'll never be anything but a loser.
Why does this always happen to me? I just wanted to play.
Takumi snatched the ball and drove a knife into it. Air hissed as it deflated. Mika stood speechless, her eyes dropping to the ground. She couldn't even look at him. Yuki ran, the laughter of his classmates echoing behind him like nails on a chalkboard. He slipped through a gap in the fence and wandered among the scrap, his mind blank with pain. Then, half covered by a shattered monitor, an old basketball. Its leather was ancient, but the orange still vivid, carved into the worn surface. Mikolo, 94. A name from a time before he was even born.
This ball, it's warm, like it's been waiting for someone to touch it.
He took it home and sat in the darkness of his room, the ball's faint heat pulsing like a heartbeat. That night, he dribbled the old ball in the moonlit backyard. Its warmth pulsed with a strange rhythm.
Kid, lower the left, higher the right. You'll eat concrete if you keep that up.
Nobody's here, but I heard that voice, clear as day.
The ball leaped from his hand and bounced on its own. Once, twice, 3 times. Then sat still, a misty figure, uncoiled from the seams, translucent and grinning. A man in a vintage jersey, shimmering in the moonlight.
Name's Michael. Been stuck in this ball since '94, and you are the first to actually listen.
A ghost. There's a ghost inside a basketball. This is insane.
I can teach you to play, but every whisper, it takes something from me. So you better be worth it.
Yuki's heart pounded, but beneath the terror, something else stirred. An impossible chance.
If this is real, could I finally win? Could I shut them all up?
Every dawn, Yuki hit the empty court. Michael whispered angles, footwork, the weight of a pass. His body ached, but his shots began to fall.
Feel the rhythm. Not your eyes, your hands. The ball knows where to go.
Street Legends Tournament. Pro tryout for the winners. This could change everything.
That's it. That's our shot. You got the skills now. Time to test them for real.
At registration, a group of adult players glanced at the skinny boy and laughed. Try the kiddie league, son.
Let the boy sign. Everyone deserves a chance to get crushed.
Even the coach thinks I am a joke. But I didn't come this far to quit.
Coach Tanaka studied the boy's bold signature, then nodded. Don't embarrass yourself out there.
I am really in me against pros. This is crazy.
Crazy is where legends start, kid. Now get inside and show them what a ghost can do.
In the first rounds, Yuki moved like someone else was guiding his hands. The crowd couldn't believe their eyes.
Now cross left, behind the back. Elevate.
The ball swished through the net. The scoreboard lit up, Yuki's team leading. But after each game, Michael's spirit grew transparent, his voice fainter. Yuki saw, but Michael always grinned it off.
He's fading, but he won't admit it. Why won't he tell me the truth?
That night, the basketball's glow was barely a candle now. The gym was silent.
You are thinking too hard, kid. It's just exhaustion. Old ghosts need rest, that's all.
Then, in a voice barely a whisper, Michael let the truth slip through the cracks.
Every play I give you, it takes a part of me. I am not just tired. I am fading away.
If I keep winning, I lose him. But if I stop, I lose myself.
In the next game, Yuki refused to listen. He stepped onto the court without a single whisper. The ball felt foreign, heavy.
I can't feel the rhythm. Every dribble is a stranger. Is this really all I am without him?
The crowd turned vicious. Boos rained down. By halftime, his team trailed by 20. The scoreboard mocked him. After the whistle, Yuki slumped on the bench, head in hands. Then, a small voice broke through the silence.
Yuki, I saw the whole thing. You are not that kid anymore. The one who got pushed around in the courtyard. You have to trust what's inside you. He helped you find it, but it's yours now. Don't be afraid to use it.
That night, in the empty locker room, Yuki grabbed the ball, its glow barely a flicker. His voice cracked with anger.
Why didn't you tell me sooner? You let me think I could do this, but every move I make kills you.
Because I wanted to play again. 30 years in leather, and you gave me a court. Even if it burns me out, I'd rather fade than never feel this.
He's been trapped for so long, and I am the one who made him feel alive. But how can I save him and still win?
Yuki returned to the court before sunrise. This time, he didn't listen for whispers. He drilled the movements until they were his own. In the next round, he played with barely a breath from Michael. His own instincts carried him through screens and steals.
I don't need to hear him every second. His rhythm is in my bones now. Just one word, and I'll take it from there.
Then, an elbow slammed into his wrist during a loose ball. Yuki fell, clutching the bone. A sharp crack rang through the gym. Coach Tanaka knelt beside him, voice low but firm. The next game was the semi-final, and the doctor's face wasn't promising.
You might not make the final, kid. Swelling like that, you can barely hold a spoon, let alone shoot.
Yuki looked at the silent ball in his lap. Its glow was now a faint pulse, like a dying heartbeat. Then, the weakest whisper.
Don't give up. I made a promise to someone. You gotta carry it now.
A promise. To who? What does he mean? But his voice, it's almost gone. I can't ask now.
He wrapped his wrist tighter and stood. If Michael had a dream he died for, Yuki would see it through, even if it cost him his shooting hand. In the semi-final, every dribble shot fired through his wrist. He sank the last free throw, then collapsed in the locker room. Darkness swallowed him. Clutching the ball, the world dissolved into a feverish dream. He stood on a cracked Chicago court, 1994. A young man in a vintage jersey spun past defenders.
That's my game, baby. No one can touch this.
Then an alley. A kid screamed, a gunman pointed. Michael stepped in front, shielding the boy with the ball. The shot echoed. Michael fell, the ball rolling from his hand, blood pooling beneath it.
I never saw him make the pros. If only someone could play with my heart.
The ball glowed, drawing his spirit inside. A promise sealed in grief and hope.
That promise, it was for the kid he saved. And now, it's for me.
The ball's light was a dying ember, but it burned brighter than ever. He understood. The semi-final. Kuroda towered over Yuki, a smirk carved into his face. The crowd sensed blood.
Look who crawled back. You think a busted wrist and a ghost story can beat me?
Through the game, Yuki fought with grit. Every shot sent lightning up his arm, but the net kept swishing. Michael's voice had become a murmur, just a breath on Yuki's neck when he needed it most. Third quarter. Yuki drove to the rim. Kuroda met him with a shoulder in the chest and an elbow to the wrist.
Ack, one more game. I can't do this alone. Please, Michael, let's finish this together.
The ball blazed. Michael's spirit surged forth in a brilliant, final flare, then dimmed to a dying spark. Yuki rose. With his last strength, he launched the winning shot. The buzzer screamed victory. They advanced. But the ball's glow now was barely a heartbeat. Michael's voice, gone. The moon hung low. Yuki sat alone on the court, the ball a faint pulse in his hands.
Kid, I don't know if I got another whisper, but you are in the final.
I don't need whispers anymore. I know your story. You are my friend. If I lose you, I lose everything.
Friend, ain't had one in 30 years. You made my last game worth it.
Yuki's tears fell onto the ball. The promise made in a Chicago alley now filled the silence.
Promise me you'll win for both of us. Let that be my final play.
His last wish. All he has left. I have to carry it.
He rose, eyes glowing gold. The ball's light was almost gone, but his own fire had ignited.
I promise. I'll win for you. For the kid you saved. I'll be your legacy.
The night held its breath. A pact sealed under the moon. A ghost's final request answered. The final started at a frenzy. Yuki sliced through defenders with moves that were his own. No whispers, just muscle memory. But the scoreboard told a different story. At halftime, they trailed by 12. His wrist felt like broken glass. In the locker room, heads hung low. Coach Tanaka stood before them, voice booming.
You fought through hell. That score doesn't define you. Your heart does. Now show them what you are made of.
Mika slipped through the door, throwing her arms around him. No words. Just a hug that said, I believe in you.
I always knew you'd fly, Yuki. Don't stop now.
Yuki picked up the ball. Its surface was cold and mute. No whisper, no glow, just old leather.
This is it, just me. But I am not alone. His promise lives in my hands.
The second half buzzer sounded. Yuki walked onto the court with golden eyes and a silent basketball. He was terrified and completely ready. The second half exploded. Yuki moved like a man possessed. 15 points in a breathtaking run. The crowd could barely keep up. The scoreboard cracked. Tied. His eyes burned gold, reflecting a fire that had nothing to do with ghosts. Kuroda, face twisted with rage, lunged. He hammered Yuki to the floor, and the referee's whistle screamed.
Pain is just a signal. I've felt worse. Get up.
10 seconds left. 1 point down. The ball found Yuki's hands through the chaos. The world hushed.
Fake right. Step back, shoot.
His voice. His last breath. If I use it, he's gone forever. But he wants this.
The court blurred. In Yuki's mind, time froze. A single choice weighing on a lifetime of promises.
My own move. Or his final gift. Which one honors him more?
The buzzer was waiting. Yuki's hand trembled on the leather. The ghost was silent.
I am already gone, kid. Make it yours.
Yuki drew a breath. Then he moved. Fake right, step back. But with his own twist, a hesitation dribble that threw Kuroda off. The ball arced against the roaring silence. A prayer made of leather and air. Swish. The net rippled like a falling star. The buzzers screamed. The scoreboard flashed. Final. Yuki's name burned at the top. Yuki dropped to his knees. Sobs tearing out from a place deeper than victory. The ball lay still. Its glow dissolved like breath on cold glass. Silence swallowed everything.
He's really gone. But I kept my promise.
47 points. A boy who had nothing now held the trophy of a legend. The world erupted in cheers, but he heard only the echo of a voice that would never whisper again. Hours after the last car left, Yuki returned to the court. The moon hung witness. The ball rested where it had fallen. A gentle glow pulsed from the leather. The ghost emerged, not as a whisper, but whole, peaceful, smiling.
We did it, kid. I can rest now.
He's really here. One last time. I don't want to say goodbye.
You gave me one final game. You don't need whispers anymore. You are a champion, Yuki.
The ghost began to dissolve, motes of gold lifting toward the stars. A promise fulfilled.
Thank you, Coach.
The light vanished. The ball became just old leather, scarred, heavy, and utterly human. He held it close and wept, not for loss, but for having been given the gift of a ghost's undying love. The court stayed silent, holding the echo of a coach whose team had finally won. Yuki walked home, clutching the ball. The trophy felt impossibly heavy, the silence heavier. In his room, he placed the ball on the shelf, next to a photo of him and Mika, shrined to a ghost.
I'll honor you. Every game, every play. My coach.
The next morning, a letter slid under his door. The seal bore a professional team logo.
A scout offer, the pro tryout. He did this for me.
Coach Tanaka appeared at his door, a rare smile breaking his weathered face.
They saw what I saw. You are not just a kid anymore. You are a legend in the making.
I made a promise to a friend. I have to keep it.
The old basketball sat silently, but its legacy would echo in every court he touched. Yuki walked out the door, jersey number 23 on his back, ready to become what Michael always believed he could be. Months later, on the pro practice court, Yuki wore 23 like a second skin. The number felt like fate. He moved with an unteachable rhythm, the same rhythm Michael had whispered into the moonlit nights. A crossover left a defender grasping air. The move was pure Chicago street ball, translated through determined hands.
Every step is a promise kept.
The other players stared. This kid wasn't just talented, he was haunted by greatness. The coach's voice, gruff and astonished, echoed. Where did you learn that?
From a friend who never saw me play. From a coach who gave everything.
He touched his wrist, where the faintest warmth still pulsed. An invisible bond that death couldn't sever. He smiled faintly. No words would do justice. Only the game could speak. He launched a layup, the ball spinning with a whisper only he could still hear. Cameras flashed at the post-game press conference. Yuki sat behind a forest of microphones, calm as still water. A reporter's voice rose above the crowd. Your style is unique. Who taught you? The room leaned in. Yuki's eyes flickered with an ancient gold, a secret only he could see.
Do I tell them about a ghost? A voice in an old piece of leather that gave everything for one last game? I had a special coach from the streets of Chicago.
The words hung in the air. Phones stopped tapping. The world hushed. In his mind, the old ball rested on the shelf, glowing faintly. One last flicker of a grateful soul.
That's all I need to say. He'd understand. Every second of that pain was worth this moment.
The quote echoed across every screen, immortalizing a coach no one would ever meet. But Yuki didn't need the world to know. The promise was already kept. The rest was just a whisper on the wind. That night, in the quiet of his room, the old basketball rested on its shelf, still as memory. Moonlight touched the worn leather. And for a moment, Michael's face appeared, smiling, peaceful, free. Then it faded, like a breath in winter air, leaving only the scars of decades. Nearby, Yuki lay asleep, his jersey number 23 hung on a chair, still holding the shape of his shoulders.
You did it, Coach. We both won.
The ball sat silent, just old leather now, but it had carried a soul, and its journey was complete. In his dreams, Yuki still heard the echo of a whisper. Not advice, just a laugh, warm as a Chicago summer.
I'll keep playing, for both of us.
Outside, the moon drifted behind a cloud, and the room settled into a deep, peaceful dark. The promise was kept. The boy had become the man his ghost believed in, and the ball was just a ball again, in packed arenas, under lights bright as stars. Yuki planted his feet and unleashed the move. The announcer's voice crackled. Yuki with the Chicago special. The crowd erupted. Each time he did it, the years melted. A ghost of a smile flickered on his lips. On the shelf, the ball never moved, but every big play, a faint, familiar laugh, echoed in his mind.
He's still with me. Every game, every shot.
Veterans watched in awe as the rookie from nowhere dismantled the best. The legend grew. A kid who whispered with a ghost, now shouting with a champion's voice. Number 23 became more than a number. It became a promise kept, a debt paid. After the final buzzer of his rookie season, he looked up, and the ball on his shelf glowed faintly. One last salute. He listened to a whisper. He crushed the pros. and a boy who had nothing became the legacy of a ghost. In a quiet corner of Yuki's room, the old ball now rested inside a glass trophy case. The engraved plaque gleamed, Street Legends Champion. But the true trophy wore the scuffs of 1994. As sunlight touched the case, the old seams shimmered. A faint outline flickered to life, the silhouette of a man dribbling, frozen in a perfect, timeless moment. Michael, forever in motion. And then, a voiceover, clear as a bell. The story's final note. He listened, and he crushed the prose. The ball faded to black, but the echo of a laugh followed, warm and everlasting. From a junkyard to a championship, from a whisper to a legacy. Yuki walked on, number 23 blazing, but the ghost remained his secret weapon, and the basketball slept, dreaming of a court where it all began. And so the legend rested in a glass case, an old basketball worn by time and touched by a spirit that never truly left. Its leather still held the echo of Chicago streets, the cadence of a promise, the rhythm of a champion's heartbeat. In the quiet, a sunbeam traced the carved letters, Miklo 94, each groove a monument to the man who gave everything. For a fleeting heartbeat, the air shimmered with a smile, the faint outline of a man who had nothing left to give but his soul. Then it dissolved, leaving only the stillness. The trophy was more than a trophy, a shrine to a debt gladly paid. Outside, a new dawn broke. Courts filled with kids chasing impossible dreams, their sneakers slapping the concrete in prayer. And somewhere, in the footwork of a stranger, the spirit of a coach still taught the world to play. He listened, and he crushed the prose. He became the voice of those who whisper from the past, the heartbeat of a legend. The ball would rest, but the promise would never sleep. It lived in every game, every street, every net that sang his name. A story began with a boy who had nothing, and ended with a legend that had everything. The ghost was home. On a quiet morning, Yuki visited the old outdoor court. The chains on the hoop still chimed in the breeze. He picked up a new basketball. Its leather still smooth, but his hands remembered every groove of another.
Every game I ever played, you were there, and you are still here.
He took a shot, the ball tracing a perfect arc, and it swished, a sound that had once been a whisper. In his room, the trophy case glowed faintly, as if sensing the shot, and then returned to silence. That night, Yuki slept, his jersey draped over a chair, the number 23 illuminated by a thin moonbeam across the city. New players stepped onto courts, their dreams carrying the echo of a coach they would never meet. And sometimes, in the stillest moment, the old ball would remember, and a smile would flicker across a faded face. The court was silent. The game was over. But the legend would never end. Fade to black, and a final, distant laugh, young, warm, and free. Years later, Yuki stood before a mirror, still wearing number 23. The boy was a memory, the ghost a constant friend. His eyes still held a faint gold, catching the light like a secret only he knew. He touched his chest, feeling the old warmth, a heartbeat not his own, but one he had carried for a lifetime. The trophy case glowed in the afternoon sun. Inside, the old basketball rested like a sacred relic. Flashes of a career, the Chicago special, the nets, the tears, and the laughter of a ghost that never really left. The carved letters on the leather never faded, just as a promise never dies. One morning, a kid on a cracked court wore a red jersey, his crossover echoing something ancient. A warm breeze carried a faint laugh, a sound like a dream, or a memory, or a blessing from Chicago. He listened. He crushed the prose. But more than that, he gave a ghost a reason to rest. The screen turned black. Only the echo remained, the whisper of a legend, and the laughter of a friend.